Up next on the Marmy Rock Show, happy to have Jace Pawlak back for a second time on the Marmy Rock Show with big news. He's got a brand new record out called Promise. Jace, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me back again. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you sending a copy of the CD out. And wow, what a good job you did on this thing. And I'm going to ask you all about it. But first, man, how'd you guys pull through with Hurricane Hermine? You all good down there in Florida?
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't speak for everybody in Florida, but where I am, I'm in like the Orlando area. I'm more central Florida, so by the time hurricanes get to me, they're just kind of storms. So it's not a big. A lot of people. I got a lot of friends all over the country, and they're all like, "You all right? You all right?" I'm like, "I promise you, where we are, it's bad. People on the coast, it's a lot different. But where I am, we just kind of get gray skies and rain for a couple of days. So I'm good, but others, I don't know, but I'm fine."
Well, I'm glad to hear that you came through. So, hey, man, from what I can see, this looks like it's your fourth release. And I will tell you, man, having listened to your other music, I think it's your strongest release yet. So do you feel like you're growing as a songwriter and producer?
I definitely think so in the studio. Yes, I'm trying to just get more solid kind of things going. It's probably the best I've done in terms of like quality for sure, in terms of like just how it sounds and how it's all put together. But that's because I finally decided to spend more money and more time and just get like a better people involved. I didn't mix and master myself. I was like, oh, okay, I'm okay at that, but I got to get somebody better than me. And got a graphic designer and got other people involved visually because I don't have a gift for the visual. But I just kind of expanded my team and expanded the budget, and you kind of get what you pay for. And it ended up with being very solid.
So to that end, tell us a little bit about your record label, because I know you're Florida-based. It looks like you might use like a New Jersey-based label for this one.
I do. Oh, okay. How that work? Let's see. I'm pretty much on my own. I have a relationship with Kibble Records because it's kind of a long story. I'll try to keep it short. When I finished Stolen Season like 10 years ago, I sent that to everybody trying to get distribution or whatever. But I've always really wanted to be a songwriter. I always wanted to be Diane Warren, Desmond Child, just have my songs on other labels. So I sent my Stolen Season around 10 years ago, and the only people that cared was Kibble Records, and he liked the songs, so we began a relationship of I would write songs for his bands, and that's lasted, we're on 9 years now. And over the years, we just kind of got a little bit closer and a little bit more of a good working relationship, and he knows what he's doing, a lot more so than I do in terms of promotion, in terms of just like getting it out there and getting quality products made. So I was making Promise myself, like I have the other 3 records. Got it all done, but I leaned on John Kibble for the visual because, like I said, my visual eye is not strong, and his is very, very good. So I, like I said, expanded my team, and I went to John and said, "Hey, you want to help with the visual because he's really good at it." So he got involved in the record from that aspect, and then when we all got done with the album, I was like, I don't know whose idea it was, but we both agreed that Kibble Records could get involved with distribution because he can just reach a lot more people. He's got a big machine. More show than I do. So kind of when it was all done, we said it's more of a distribution thing. Like if you want to help just get it out there, we'll put it under the umbrella of Kibble Records and get more people to listen, which is always the most important thing. It's been great. Kibble Records has done so much for me and getting more people to hear it and just much better promotion than I am. I'm really bad at saying, "Hey everybody, look at me, look at me, look at me." So it's good to have somebody else do that for me.
So let's talk a little bit about the record. One of the first things that jumped out at me was a tune that I really liked a lot called "Can't Find Your Heart," and I noticed for some reason there's a different vocalist on that. So tell me about that tune.
Oh, the song, or you mean Pete?
Well, both. Tell me about the song and then why you had a different vocalist on it than yourself.
I love the song. I wrote that. These songs are all dotted out throughout the years because I combed together a bunch of similar songs. I really enjoyed that. That was me trying to beat the storm as much as I possibly could be. I mean, I think that's the one I succeeded the most. Like I was trying to go for the Storm's first album, Kevin Chalfant, Josh Ramos kind of production and subject matter and chord changes, and it came together really well. I actually got the idea for the title of that song watching a Toto DVD concert, and they had a song called "Can't Get Next to You" that I'd never heard before. because it's not on any Total record except for their covers record. It turns out it's an old Motown cover, and I thought Can't Get Next to You is a decent title. I never thought of that before. And then I was sitting in my living room, and I thought Can't Find Your Heart would be a great title, because it's very simple, but I've never heard it before. And then the melody just went, Find Your Heart. Oh, cool. So I started writing a song, and I had that's 4 or 5 years old now. So that is where that came from. I really, really, really like that song. I couldn't wait to get out there in the world. Pete is involved on the record on 2 songs, because originally this record, like I said, I was trying to channel the storm. My buddy Pete, and I've known him for a very long time, love his voice. He's got a great tone. He's much cleaner than me. He's a much more effortless singer. I've always loved his voice, known him for like 10 years. Always wanted to do a record with him. Always talked about doing a record with him. I said, look, man, I'll write all the songs. You sing it all. Let's get your voice out there. I love it. And we'll try to do something that's like Survivor and The Storm in Bad English, and you be the singer. And that is what I was going to do after my last record, Perspective. I talked to Pete and said, okay, man, that thing we've been always talking about, let's do it. And what ended up being Promise started out being like the record that Pete and I were going to do together, completely different new band name, like a whole new project, and started recording it. And then I got a lot of traction on Perspective, and I started getting like people that were interested in what I was doing next. And then it turned into, well, maybe Pete will sing half the songs, and I'll sing half the songs. But I guess we should call it Jace Pawlak, not because I'm an egomaniac, but just because it'll sell better, because I'm starting to get a name. And it's slowly diluted into where Pete only ended up on 2 songs. So Pete, I wanted him involved in the whole thing, and it slowly became something else because I felt that I needed to keep it in my name just to help get, because I worked so hard on Perspective to get my name at least recognizable, and I thought we start all over with a new band, a new name, a nobody, and it's going to be so much harder to get these songs heard. So I wanted to keep him involved, though, and get his voice on there, because he sounds so good, and he sounds so clean and smooth, and that was a good song for him. So I left him on that song, even though it's one of my favorites. And there's demos somewhere of him doing some other songs.